there I am. That is I, Oscar, the Hedgehog King. King of all there is, and everyone. Yes, that's right, including you. But how did I get here? Well, that's a funny story, and I'd be happy to tell it to you. If you just come a little closer and... don't worry about those two sitting next to my throne. They're just my colleagues. I mean, diligent courtiers. And that is Desdemona and Clive. And, don't worry about the rest of those characters as well. They're just Creative Commons models I downloaded off booth.com to fill the scene, as it were. Where was I? Oh, that's right. How I became the king. Well, it... Right. Welcome back to the Hedgehog Report. I'll be your hedgehog this evening. Tonight, insidiousness. An insipid and recalcitrant foe is lurking within our midst, and the action news team at the Hedgehog Report, yes, go on, yes, wave to the people, yes, are delivering to you an expose on the broiling threat to humankind. But first, here's Clive with the weather. Clive?
Well, as you can see...
Thank you, Clive. Rats. We've all seen them, smelt them, tasted them, held them in our arms as they told us we'd be theirs forever, until circumstances force you to go long distance, and they end it with you over the phone, forsaking all the years you spent together, and the life you planned, the children, the family. You were my queen, and I was your Rat King! Rat Kings. Vile, repugnant, hairy, and hypnotizing. God emperors to disaffected rodents everywhere. But where did they come from? Some cursed and plague-infected grain silo? Or perhaps the rotting bowels of an Elizabethan ship? Tonight, we find out. Like all good investigative journalism, this story must start at the beginning. And so, I invite you all to step into the time portal. No, please, I insist. It's perfectly safe and only required one Zerathian soul gem to power. And no, don't worry. The soul trapped eternally within the gem giving it its magical power is no one important. Just Clive.
Please help me.
Squad-a-la, we're off. There's no earthly way of knowing which direction we are going. Is it raining? Is it snowing? Is a... Oh! Well, here we are, as promised, 16th century Europe in charming little Ratville. I'm not really sure what I was expecting. And what were you expecting, dear viewer? Perhaps a quaint little YouTube documentary about rat kings? Well, allow me to subvert your expectations one final time. News team, truth, cannon, beam! For those of you who are new to the show, the Truth Cannon Beam allows me 30 seconds to tell you all some facts about the current subject matter. So strap in. A rat king is an unusual and rare phenomenon where a group of rats become entangled by their tails, forming a peculiar and unsettling configuration. The resulting furry flesh mass is often depicted as a circular or wheel-like structure, where the stretched-out tails of the rats serve as the spokes, and the soon-to-be unalive bodies, the metaphoric rubber. These abominable constructs were first documented in the 16th century, when rat populations were reaching an all-time high, and coincided with a charming little virus called the bubonic plague. The high density of rats and the small confines in which they writhed around in not only increased the rate of plague transmissions amongst the carrier rats, it was their fleas that had the plague, credit where credit is due, but also resulted in the entanglement of their tails and their sudden status change to monarchs. But now that the effects of the beam are wearing off, I can tell you that everything I've said is purely conjecture, made up by a bunch of nerds who spend their entire day in a laboratory researching. They don't have the balls to do what we do. We get out there, we get into the time machine, and we search for the truth. And I don't need the scientific method or peer-reviewed papers to know what this is. A sacrifice to a greater power, a flesh offering to the true Rat King. And we will find him. The Hedgehog Report was fortunate enough to encounter a local clergy member who agreed to lead a small tour group into some nearby catacombs, allowing us to gain a closer insight into the inner workings of rodent society.
Brother Morel should be here. We are the last two remaining.
Well, that's all good and all, but, we are paying for this tour and we have a schedule to keep. We are time travelers after all, and we are running a live broadcast as we told you. So, if you could please hurry up and find Brother Morel, that would be great.
Brother Morel.
I swear, Desdemona, where do you find these people?
Stay here.
Well, alright, but I can't see us going anywhere else. I mean, you are the tour guide, and you have the torch, and what we'll just...
Brother Morel.
I don't think he's listening to us. We called out to Brother Morel. He's not bloody here, is he?
Brother?
Jesus Christ. Look, Father, I don't think your brother is here. I think we should get out of here and maybe continue the tour.
What is the matter?
I'll tell you what the matter is. We've been left stuck here waiting for Brother Morel and... What was that? Oh. What is that? Is that like black magic or something? Shut up, kid. Oh, shit! It's rats! Oh, God, get out of there, Father Thomas! No. Get out of there! Oh, God, run, you old fool, run! Give him the light, you bitch! Give him the light! Oh, they're eating him! Oh, they're eating him! Oh, my God! And they're gonna eat us next. Oh, my God! Desdemona, please, hit the button. Hit the button now! Now! Now that's what I call a sticky situation. Oh, come on, that was a good one. Trey Parker and Matt Stone did it, and you all laughed then. Oh, no, but when an independent broadcast of a talking hedgehog does it, it's passé. Well, it's not my fault I wasn't born into the echelon of the Hollywood elite, with a silver spoon in my mouth, and that the... Excuse me a moment. Hello? What's that? A hot tip. And you're sure? We'll be on the next plane. I suppose you're all wondering what that cliché cartoon phone call voice was saying to me in the studio. Well, allow me to elucidate. You see, a Rat King has been with us all along, hiding in plain sight. Moreover, he's established for himself a nice little kingdom, where he and his subjects have been biding their time, waiting for their moment to strike out at the world. And so, we travel now to their homeland, a land where the denizens all live tightly squashed together in gloom, muck, and detritus, where the sewage spills out into the roads, where the children play under the black smog of the skies, a sordid kingdom, the kingdom of rats. The United Kingdom. The Hedgehog Report was lucky enough to arrange an audience with the king himself. After some careful negotiations and barter, the Royal Protectorate agreed to allow us to meet for the low price of one Zerathian soul gem.
Please help me.
Your Majesty, thank you for agreeing to this interview. I'm curious to know about your origins and to understand what series of events led you onto the path to becoming the king of your people.
I saw so much being destroyed around us, and I saw the digging up of all our precious flower-rich meadows and wetlands, and the hedges were ripped up and the trees cut down.
My condolences. And what do you think led to this disaster?
Everything's been designed to push nature or squash it or overexploit it. Do you see what I mean?
Yes, I think I understand. Understand that you blame humanity for the destruction of your once charmed life.
We have to now find a way to get agreement on...
Agreement on what?
The necessary reduction.
Reduction of what?
Necessary actions that need to be taken to keep
the human population the same level as rats.
Ideally below.
Well, I don't think humanity will sit idly by and let rats rise up to rule this world. They will fight back.
Do we really have to face catastrophes and chaos before we understand that real action needs to be taken?
They will take action. They will stop you.
The difficulty with all that is that by the time try to take the action, it's already too late.
What do you mean it's already too late?
These things take longer than you think.
Are you saying you've been planning this all along?
The trouble with all this is that what has happened over all these years since the Industrial Revolution, we never deal with the underlying root cause, which regrettably is
Mankind.
This is a trend, regrettably. That's why it's even more important to tackle this issue as urgently as possible. Otherwise, the increase is going to get so much worse that then life will become very, very complicated indeed.
I don't understand. How have you been able to operate all this time with such impunity? How has no one tried to stop you?
Well, we're seeing a classic case of not dealing with the problem because, I was saying the last few years, the Pentagon have actually started to pay attention.
What about a diplomatic solution? Do you have no empathy for the innocent lives that will be lost?
It sounds awful to say, but some of us were saying 20-something years ago that you would see ever greater conflict over scarce resources and ever greater disaster, frankly.
Forgive me for being skeptical, but I don't think that you and your gang of rats have what it takes to engage in a protracted war with an entire species who, may I remind you, has a life expectancy 16 times longer than your own.
It is a funny thing about life. As you get older, you realize sometimes that second generation are much, much more efficient and effective, and we've only just begun.
But the human spirit is tenacious. It will prevail.
But I wonder if that's really the case. I mean, I think the trouble is a lot of people feel powerless.
Touché. Do you have terms for surrender? What if the human race cannot fulfill them?
Then you end up with all these horrors and disaster, frankly.
Is that a threat to remove all people from the planet?
That's what's called decoupling.
Yes, decoupling. Very funny. And so there we have it, dear viewer. The Rat Kings, their origins, and their continuing plot to overthrow humanity. But we won't allow that to happen, will we?
Join the resistance. Like and subscribe to this channel so you can become monetized and purchase arms and munitions to fight this existential threat. One like equals one bullet, and...